Greetings. This is your God State check-in, and the question for today is how much more you need to see. How much more? How much more sickness you need to see? How much more death you need to see? How much more suffering do you need to see? Because most of us done seen quite a bit. How many more grandmas do you need to see suffer? How many more papas? How many more aunties? How many more mamas? How many more daddies? How many more cousins? How many more friends? How many more childhood BFFs? How many more examples do you need before you decide, I got to do something different? I got to go about this life thing just a little bit different. How much more evidence do you need? I'd like to know. I really would like some feedback on this. How much more? Because we have been watching. Like there's a blueprint. This is not even it's nothing that needs to be studied. We have had a front row seat. It's not no mysterious thing running through families. It is piss poor eating, piss poor thinking, and piss poor living. That's what's saturated within our families. It's not a mystery. We don't need a study. We don't need the government to give no money. We don't need to turn this into no 20-year, no, it's nothing. We know, we've already seen it for 20 years. And my question to you is, how much more do you need to see? Like, how much more does your body got to show you? You start to get little things going on, just little things. A little ache here, your wrist don't quite do what it need to do. It's just your back or your shoulder, the joints start acting up on you. Your knees, right? Can't quite, you get to throwing that thing just a little bit to the left, and it's baby, blood pressure started to inch up a little bit. Cholesterol started to inch up a little bit. Hair started to fall out a little bit. Acne, back breaking out, chest breaking out. Constipation here and there. How long do you ignore that? Because symptoms are the body's way of communicating to you. So how much more do you need to see? When is enough enough? When do you say, this is where I pump the brakes? I ain't going out like this. Okay. So we had two comments. One was about making a video on healing chronic health conditions. The other video, and this was in response to the putting for 24 hours, putting your attention on what you want and nothing else. And the question was, how can I do that while I've been living with a chronic illness for the past decade? That's real, right? Do I imagine myself living without medication and machines? The short answer is yes. How do I go about it since I have to treat it on a daily basis? Fantastic question. Fantastic question. Ooh, you know what I like about the question so much is because you can't pose that question unless there's not already a part of you that knows that this is possible. You don't pose that question otherwise. You don't. But these questions got me to thinking about the origin of Project Rook. And I know we got some, new homies that are hanging out with us. And I think we should backtrack just a little bit. Let me bring you up to speed on how this thing came about. I've often wondered, my background is similar to a lot of you, right? You know the story. We've grown up in our families. Many of us have grown up in the church. I in particular grew up in the country, so that's a unique experience in and of itself. And we were taught to do things a certain way. We were taught to see life a certain way. And even though I had a little rebelliousness in me, my teenage years, for the most part, I followed that, I think. For the most part, I followed that. But there's always been a part of me every now and then that I've thought back and I've posed a question to myself: how did I make it out? How was it me? I walked the same path as many others. I went to the same schools, the same churches, heard the same sermons. I was given the same lessons, the same ass whippings. I was there, right? Same town, same cities, same stories. How did I make it out? How was it me? And the core of you asking this question comes down to you not really seeing you for who you are. That's where that question comes from. Because I often saw the what I thought was the wisdom in others. I often saw what I thought were inspiring characteristics in others. I saw their smarts, or what I thought was. I saw what I thought was their potential and their abilities, but I often didn't see my own message. So that is what leads you to asking and posing those sorts of questions. Because I looked up, I had, aunts and uncles that I looked up to. I had people around me that I looked up to that I really thought they had it going on. Now we come to learn that some of them just as dumb as a box of rocks, respectfully, But the question still remained, like that initial question was like, ah, how was it me? Because a lot of us do a lot of running. There's a lot of running that happens because you it's somewhat of survival's guilt, where you feel guilty that really you the one. To even ask a question about how do I like think about the question. It may seem simple, but I really want to put emphasis on the power behind the question, right? Like, how do I imagine myself without this? There has to be a part of you that has already imagined it. There has to be. There has to be. I want you to understand. Matter of fact, grab your Bibles and go. We'll start off with a Bible verse of the day. We'll start off with a Bible verse of the day. Let's go Matthew 13 and 16. Blessed are your eyes, for they can see. Blessed are your ears, for they can hear. Verse 17 goes on to say that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see what you see, yet do not see. Many have desired to hear what you hear, but do not hear. Blessed are the ears that hear. Blessed are the eyes that see. So I need you to see. I need you to look at your ability. Like the fact that you actually feel a desire, that you see it. When you look out in the world, when you look out in your current circumstance, that's when the mind starts to, it starts to analyze. It's that troubleshooter, it's the radar. It perceives things from this limited perspective. So you might doubt in those instances, you might feel afraid, you might question whether you can really do XYZ. But the desire itself tells you that it's you. That's how you know it's you. Everybody wants to know, am I the chosen one? Who are the chosen? Those who can hear. That's who's the chosen. Those who can see. You the chosen one. I don't care where you were born. I don't care what family you came up in. Nigga, you the one. And I need you to really just take that and just make it mean something to you. The fact that the message can get to you, that you can see, you can be in the midst of the same situations, scenarios, family, the same lineage, and yet your eyes see different. Yet your ears hear different. Yet you can feel in a way that they don't. It's not a right or wrong. We're not here to like focus on yourself. Let me just say that. Stop trying to worry about what, well, you know what I'm saying? They don't know that this is all a lie. It ain't for them to know. It's for you to know. Get out your grandma's house trying to take her picture of white Jesus down. Leave grandma alone. Grandma and her white Jesus has helped you. Yeah, let me give you some game real quick. Okay? Get out of your hurt feelings about somebody lying to you and they didn't tell you the truth. We ain't got time for that. The fact that grandma believed in that, she gave power to it. And every time she prayed for your raggedy ass, her and her white Jesus, the fact that you believed in her, white Jesus helped you too. Shout out to white Jesus. Yes, yes, yes. Glory. Yes. You believed in her and she believed in it. Trying to wake grandma up. Grandma don't need you to wake her up. Grandma here to do what she here to do. She here to see it how she here to see it. Worry about how you here to see it, how you here to do it. Blessed are the eyes who can see, the ears who can hear. So I went through a period of really, it didn't bother me, but it was just, it would kind of be, it was more off and on. Like I just wanted to know, like, how was it me? Because I didn't see me in that light. I knew it though. I knew it. I felt it. Every time I reflect back, there were sprinkles of it all throughout my life. I may not have kept my attention on it long, but I knew it. I felt it. You fast forward. I don't even know where to start. All I know is all throughout life, I've had a desire to know. I've had a desire to know in some capacity or another. I've been a seeker. And I've been open, message. I've been willing, message. That's what saved me. That's what saved me. And there's another verse that comes to mind. Grab your Bibles and go with me to 1 Corinthians 8 and 2. 8 and 2. If any man thinketh that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know it. Translation, Rook translation, you don't know shat. And that was the answer to my question. That's how I made it out. That's why I was the one, because I never locked into my mind that I just knew it all. The reason you can't help the people you want to help, the reason that people are locked into a religious mind, because they think they know. They think they know. The problem, here's where the the plot twist is. If you know, you wouldn't have to be a believer. We're going to talk about that. I had another great question about that. We'll save that though. If you knew, you wouldn't have to be a believer. Believing is reserved. The believing is reserved for those who don't know. So what saved me was because I stayed open. I stayed open. So let's rewind all the way back to 2014. Let's fast forward and how I got really sick. Well, let's go 2008. Really what got me to being healthy and in shape, beginning this process, was my coworker made a bet with me. I was starting to get a little thick, you know what I'm saying? I was starting to get a little thick, and our homecoming was big. The greatest homecoming on earth. Shout out to the Aggies, Aggie Pride. And he made a bet. He was like, yeah, your ass gonna be big by, and I think this was in 2009, and he made a bet that by 2012 that I was gonna be fat. I took that personal. I took that shit personal, like, whoa. And it started from, again, I got a little on the thickum side. But not only was I thick, see, this is what women get mixed up. You ain't just thick, you're also full of shit. Literally. Like literally full of shit. So I was like, hold on. I take this as a challenge. Challenge accepted. But he pointed out as I was sitting on this stool, like we were in this lab, and I was sitting on this bar stool, and I had on this sweater. And he was like, damn, bro, is that your belly? And I'm like, no. You know how when you sit, a sweater has a tendency to kind of bend and fold like this. So it literally looked like it was just my sweater. But when I went to do like this, I was like, oh, got a little pudge there. And I didn't say nothing. I didn't alert him to I just kind of like, you just kind of suck it in like, no, it's my sweater. But in my mind, I was like, oh, Houston, we got a problem. We got a problem. Nah, I ain't going out like this. Cause see, I'd watched everybody tell me that this is how life goes, that you just get, time passes, you get older, you're supposed to get fatter. And I'd already decided that was not gonna work for me. I'm watching y'all get fat, but that ain't gonna be my story. Message. A decision was made. This is not how my life gonna be. So that started me on the path. Right. I think I was about $145. And that's on the, because it was mostly fat, right? The 145 is not a lot, but it is a lot on a 5'4" frame, okay? When it's mostly fat, right? Not that you've been building muscle, it's just, again, it looked good in some jeans now, okay? Shout out to the baby fat jeans. They was looking good, but the back coming out was one thing. The front coming out, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. So I got into what, I know this is a little bit long, but we got to get to here. I got to bring you up to speed on how we got to Project Rook. And I started in mainstream, what I call mainstream health. So you cut out processed food, what's good for everybody. You cannot lose by cutting out processed food, eliminating. So I became more conscious of what I was eating. I became conscious of ingredients, high fructose corn syrup and preservatives. That came on my radar. I think I started on my own. This might have been 2008. And I think I started there was a video. Do y'all remember? Depending on how old you are, it was like a black military dude. He was bald headed. And it was this other, like, it was a white lady. It was a fitness lady. And they had a show. It was like a boot camp something. I want to say it was on MTV. I don't know, but they had a video. They had a VHS video. And that was what I started with, because my daughter was young at this time. So I hadn't figured out how to navigate working out with her, with work. So I'm like, listen, I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes a day. And when I would put her to bed, I'd get that 10 minutes in. And when I tell you, that was like death to me. Like, I did not know I was so out of shape. That 10 minutes was the longest 10 minutes of my life. But that is how I started. Message. I worked with what I had. I decided to do something, that there was one thing that I could do, and I did it. But that's what started me on that. I think some months later, a year later, at work, we were supposed to go to a conference in Hawaii. So I decided I got to get right. I think that's when I got a trainer. Shout out to Quincy. I think, what's Quincy's name? Quincy Roberts out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Quincy got me right. Very professional. Like, Quincy taught me the fundamentals I still use to this day. Really, all you need to learn how to do is push some shit, pull some shit, and lift some shit. That's the key to fitness, honestly. He didn't do it wasn't Instagram thing. I don't even think Instagram existed at this time. Why is it making it sound like this was such a long time ago? But he taught me the core fundamentals, right? And that's what we did. I saw my body transform from working with him 2 days a week, 30 minutes a day. That was it. 2 days, 30 minutes. My body transformed. Now, of course, I followed his diet to a T, but this was mainstream diet. So this is that, the chicken breast, the broccoli, the sweet potato, tuna fish. It was something else that I could have, like an apple. That was essentially all of what what I did, and it worked. So dropping pounds and building muscles, like I saw my body do that. Got it. We did that. I carried that on. I ended up leaving North Carolina, and I carried that on. That was like 2009 up until about 2012. Weird things started happening to my body in 2012. First of all, I was very stressed. So my body started breaking out. I used to have rashes in between my fingers. I had terrible acne. And I know if I can find some pictures, I promise you I'm going to share them because I want you to see how much. I knew I looked like a clown because I had put a bunch of cheap makeup on. My old sores were turning brown, and then the new bumps that would come in were pink. It was horrible. And no matter what I did, I would cut out the dairy. I try to cut out the wheat, and it might have some minor improvements, but for the most part, it was just there. And I never dealt with that. And I went to the doctor finally, and they gave me some shit to put on it. And I'm like, but what's the problem though? She was like, it's just adult acne. Some adults experience it. And I'm like, no, ma'am. How can it be adult acne? I ain't even deal with teenage acne. That don't make sense to me. But as you're aware, I never really got an answer. They couldn't give me an answer. So I remember I got the prescription filled, and it was some big container of some shit to put on your face, and I never even used it. I got this prescription filled, and just I never used the crap. I'm like, something else is going on with my body. I think I eliminated birth control around that time too. Now, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have gone cold turkey. After that many years, when you disrupt your hormonal system that many years, I would have weaned myself off. So again, knowing what I know now, I know that is what threw my system further into a tailspin. So 2013, I'm having night sweats from hell. I'm also at my fittest at this time. Message. I think even on my Instagram page, you'll still see, if you scroll all the way back, you'll see I was ripped. I was almost maxed out on the curl machine. Yes, I know every gym is different, but still, only being I probably was, I don't know, maybe $125, maybe, I don't know, because I kind of leaned out a lot. At my smallest, I probably got down to maybe 115, maybe. But I was lean as hell. I was ripped as hell. I was lifting weights probably 5 to 6 times a day, and I mean heavy. Hair was falling out. I was getting cavities. I'm eating better than I've eaten in my entire life. Why would I be having cavities? I'm not really eating candy. I mean, I would have some like ice cream sometimes or cookies here and there, but it didn't explain why I was having cavities. The night sweats from hell, I would wake up and the sheets would be soaked. I had to change the sheets. Bloating from hell, digestive issues, wasn't having consistent bowel movements. Clearly, something is going wrong, right? Something is off. I'm at my fittest at this time. Message. Like, I'm in the gym, baby. And I think going into right at the end of 2013 was when I started yoga. So I'm in there killing it. Like, I could easily do an hour yoga, hot yoga, then I go bust some weights. Like, oh my God, stronger than I've ever been. Yet my body falling apart. Message. That's why when y'all get caught up on muscles, yes, you need muscles. Yes, we should have a focus on being lean, right? Lean mass, yes. But you can do a lot of things to build muscle. That it's not indicative of good health. Not alone, we should say. Not alone, it's not. What else was going on? I had a bunch of things going on. I'm trying to remember. Brain fog. Couldn't remember shit. Couldn't stay focused for nothing. very difficult to get through the day, and then I got real tired. I just would be at by 6 p.m. I feel like I'm about to die. Come on, come on, somebody can relate. At my worst, PMS from hell. I never really had horrible PMS. I would have some, and usually the first day would be the worst. But I started getting what many women describe as those god awful cycles. The flow was so heavy, and it would feel like, yeah, I got to take off. I can't work today. I never experienced it that bad where I just couldn't do anything. But it would feel like the flu. It would feel like I'm sickly, like I can't do anything. I'm achy. I'm sore. At the fittest time in my life, all of this is happening. What else? Well, let's fast forward. Something happens. I want to say this is April 2014, and I wake up and I feel like I'm about to die. Now, all these things are happening and I hadn't diagnosed myself. I'm still taking, let me tell you, at this time, I'm taking probably about 15 different supplements a day. I had a shipment coming in every month, probably paying about $200 plus. Message. So 2014, I wake up in April and I'm like, I'm about to die. It felt like a mix of pneumonia, because I've had that as a child. It felt like a mix of pneumonia, the flu, and childbirth all in one. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I am bloated like I am 6 months pregnant. And it hurts. Like, it's bloated hard. And I'm feeling lightheaded. I can't move. Like, I'm able to come downstairs. I don't know what's going on with me, bro. Like, I'm looking up on the ceiling to the ceiling, like, yo, what is that? What the hell is going on? At the fittest time of my life, when I thought I was my healthiest, I was following the trend, the mainstream guidelines for, yeah, just eat this, get your lean meats, and the gym and the broccoli and I did all that. Get your supplements, got all that. What is wrong with me? Something is happening. Now, at this time, I was not interested in going to a doctor because I was into the health world, but not in the way that I understand it now. However, my ex was very concerned and he wanted me to go to the doctor. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to a holistic doctor. Well, I called a holistic doctor. She was backed up for 4 months. I was like, damn. Okay. Yeah. And he was really, really concerned. Like, yo, you got to go somewhere, bro. Like, you can't move right now. Something is happening. So I went to the doctor. They run tests, right? They run all the tests, and of course the tests come back that everything is fine. Everything looks good. Everything looks copacetic. We thought it might have been celiac. We thought you might have had some, I don't know, what did I think I have at the time? I thought it might be uh, what some people refer to as leaky gut. I think they thought it might have been ISBO, which is small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. He says to me, well, I'm going to refer you to a gastrointestinal specialist. You need to go to a specialist and really find out what's going on. I'm sitting there, like, okay. Right. I leave there like, nigga, please. I ain't going nowhere. Not going to no gastro. See, what you're not about to do is diagnose me. So I think one thing that was beneficial to me is that I never got labeled with anything. I never got man's name. They didn't get to classify it as anything. So I can't really tell you a name for what I had at the time. I just know that I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat nothing. Even water made me spit up. So I end up having to kind of fast for a few days. And that just naturally came about because, again, I couldn't eat anything because everything would make me vomit. I now understand what I had going on with my gallbladder, what I had going on with my liver. Had I not stepped into this world, I can guarantee you by now I would have had lost my gallbladder by now. They would have taken it out by now. I'm almost certain of it. Gallstones. So I start before I can get in to see the holistic doctor. I what did I do? I just started doing what I know to do. Started taking it real slow. I would chop up lettuce, plain lettuce, couldn't put nothing on it. Nothing on it. About the size of the palm of my hand, and I could eat that. That was enough to kind of keep my stomach chill. I could eat plain tuna fish, just a couple of scoops, just a couple of scoops with nothing on it. I think I might have been able to put salt, I think. And I could eat a little bit of that. And I did this just for a little while. I don't know if this went on for a couple of weeks. I don't remember exactly. And I maintained until I could get in to see the holistic doctor. And the holistic doctor gave me some herbs, and I can't remember what we did, muscle testing, and she quote unquote diagnosed me with heavy metals and parasites, and which actually was spot on actually. Gave me some homeopathic things, and I did that for I think a couple months. And I'm still exploring at this time. I'm on a hunt because I have this strong urge message. I have this strong knowing that something ain't right, but the body got to be able to heal itself. There's something that I'm missing here, something I'm not seeing. So I go to her and I say, I think I want to do a detox. I wanted to know what she thought about it. And I think I've told this story before. She was a very heavy-set woman. I mean, she was big. She was overweight. She was obese. I mean, it's just what it was. She did help me, though. I appreciate her help, her assistance. But she was like, oh, I don't, you can if you want to. It's not really necessary, but it can't hurt. And I knew enough about what I was doing in health, and I knew enough at that time to know that was not the right answer. And I'm like, you should be the main one that should be encouraging me to detox my body. So I decided at that point that I'm going to take it from here. I don't need no more help. I got it. I got it. It's me and my body from here on out. And I didn't get diagnosed with any particular illness or condition because I didn't hang around long enough to. So I never even had that barrier in my mind. And I think people have to understand that once you get a label for something, you automatically associate yourself with that. Once they tell you it's the this, now you look at, well, what's the success rate with this? What's the side effects of this? What's the long-term this? Like, you're connected to that. So I think there was a benefit that I never got a name for whatever was happening. But if you stay in the doctor long enough, they have to diagnose you. You have to get a diagnosis. They can't just say your body's out of balance. They can't just say, your body's going through changes. No, they have to give you a name, people. So what did I do? That started in April of 2014. The game changer came right before Thanksgiving. It was right in, I believe, at the beginning of October, somewhere in October. And I decided that I was going to go on a 40-day Daniel diet. If you know anything about the Daniel diet, you know that it is all fruits and vegetables. You cut out all meat. I cut out all bread. I cut out everything other than fruits and vegetables. It was cooked, but I just cut everything out. And I did that for 40 days. And for those 40 days, now at this time, you have to understand my whole life is upside down. I got chaos everywhere. The home situation is chaotic. My daughter, and with her dad, there is chaos. Like my life is just in shambles. So when I went on this 40-day, like it was when it's that place where a lot of people come to in their religious spiritual practice where they're wondering, what more can I do? I've done all the things. I'm following everything to the best of my knowledge, and things continue to get worse. So I set an intention for those 40 days because it coincided. This is a message. This is at the same time where spiritually I'm feeling like I'm in a dry place. Like I can't. I'm praying, but it's like the words are leaving my mouth, but they bouncing right back. And I'm like, something is wrong. I don't know. Something is wrong. Something ain't right. Something ain't right with my body. Something ain't right with, like, where is God? Where are you? Like, I'm the most serious I've ever been at this. Like, for the first time in my life, I'm more dedicated than I ever been. I'm more committed. I'm reading more. I'm studying more. I'm praying more. I'm showing up more than I ever have, and my life is getting worse. Now, the church will lead me to believe that this is good. This is a good sign. It's just, this suffer. Suffer for righteousness' sake. No, absolutely not. Had enough of that. So I go into this 40 days and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. I don't know the answer to anything right now, but I'm setting an intention, and the intention was open my eyes to the truth. This is what I said. Open my eyes to the truth. Whatever I think that I know, whatever that I'm just so convinced that I know, right? I don't care. Put it all to the side and open my eyes to the truth. And boy, did it. Now, I will tell you that things got worse before they got better. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. But the willingness, the openness, no matter what it is that you're experiencing, whether you spiritually you feel out of tune, whether your health is going crazy, and I know I ain't answered the question yet, but you got to bear with me, because I'm trying to show you how your physical health is just not about your physical health. No, it's a bigger bell that's dinging. It ain't just about that. It ain't just about, oh, you got a stomach problem or a kidney problem or a liver problem. It's deeper than that. But I set that intention, and that ushered in the greatest transformation of my life. When I came out of those 40 days, I did for Thanksgiving, I went. I had me some turkey. It was good. It felt different though. Something about me felt different. But I did. I slowed myself back into it. It was cool. It was all right. But I remember December. I don't remember. It was either, I think it was December 11th. And I sat down to eat what would be my last meal, that last supper. And my spirit said it was salmon. It was spinach, I think it was. And my spirit said, we're done eating meat. We're done taking in flesh and blood. We're taking in life now. This is just what I heard at that time, okay? You do with that whatever you want to do with it. Don't really care. That's what it was what I heard. We're done with flesh and blood. Can't take in life, taking in death. That's what I heard. I pulled away from the table. I put the fork down and I backed away from the table. And I haven't touched it since. There was something else that happened. Like the person who sat down and the person that got up from that table, different. Like that was two different people. It was two different people. And I started seeking in regard to what was happening to me spiritually. That's a whole nother, we'll take that into a whole nother video, right? Because that's a whole nother 40 minutes. But it opened the gates. It opened the gates. And I started to take seriously my health and my body. And I said, I got to get back in tune with nature. And that's what I did. I know it might seem like it's a little all over the place, but hopefully you can follow what I'm saying. I intend that you can follow what I'm saying. I started the path to restore my health. I absolutely knew there was a knowing within me that said my body can heal itself. There was a knowing within me that said the same power that made me is the same power that restores me. There was something within me that said if I was to get in an accident right now and break all sorts of bones and ligaments, my body would know what to do. Even if I punctured a lung, even if I had the assistance of doctors to go in there and put sutures just to keep hold things together, the body restoring itself, there's a wisdom and an intelligence in it. It knows what to do. And I started to lean into that. And I leaned into nature, what made sense to me. I want to get back to nature. I want to get back into the foods that are the easiest to digest. Now, at the time, when I first started the process, I couldn't even eat fruit. It just bloated me too bad. Did I come to the conclusion that fruit was bad? Because that's what the conclusion that people are coming to. Or no, I ate that lettuce and I got bloated. Well, then you should check your gut. Maybe that's what you should do. Did you conclude that the lettuce was bad? So the Doritos are fine. You can eat the Doritos and that don't bloat you. You can eat the French fries and the pizza, the hot fries, the Takis, the Cheetos. That don't bloat you. But as soon as you go get something in its natural state, that bloat should make you sick. And the conclusion you came to is that it was the food in its natural state that's the problem, not the processed bullshit that you're eating. That's fascinating to me. That's fascinating to me. So I eliminated that. And I focused on two things, my diet, and I focused on detoxing my body. That's the key. That's the key to reversing chronic illness. That's the key. Maybe I got to split these questions up because I don't, the second question, no, we'll fit it all in together. We got time, right? It ain't no limit. We ain't got no minimum of videos we can do here. We just come back and just we'll keep it going, right? But if I was dealing with chronic illness right now, the first thing that I will focus on is cleaning up my body. I have to remind myself that people don't understand the connection between what they put in their body and the illness that they're dealing with. I do forget sometimes, as simple as it may seem, that people do not realize that there is a connection. So the diet part is not only what you're putting in this mouth, it's what you're putting in here. This is what makes health and wellness so transformational. I reversed it all by changing my diet. I went deep into the plants and I worked that thing. The detoxing is what helped. Man, I had so many parasites. I did. Body was just clogged up. I don't even know how I was a functioning person, honestly. And the more I detox and I cleaned that gut up, cleaned that gut wall up, I could eat one grape. I slow put it right back in because I knew there was benefits. The real key to restoring health and reversing illness? You maximize two things. And this is what birthed Project Rook. When I figured this out, I was like, oh my God. People gotta know that this is simple. It is so simple to reverse illness. It is so simple to change your life because that's what changed my life. Because I found out something. See, I didn't know this was going to be a benefit. I didn't know that the more I cleaned up my body, the clearer my mind got. That's what blew the lid off the religion. I was primed and ready, baby. Like I done cleared out the congestion. What was weakening my life force, we cleared that out. I was an open channel, receptive, let's go. So the cleaner I got my body, the more my mind got clear. It got focused. I became more sensitive to my spirit. You ain't listening to what I'm saying to you right now. You're not, you're not listening to what I'm saying right now. You're not listening to what I'm saying. That was the gateway. Is it the only way? No, there's never just one way, but that was the gateway for me. Cleaning up my diet, cleaning up my entire life. But it came down to two things. I was like, I need people to know. It's so simple. It is so simple. I don't need you to read no 55 books. If you like reading, then read it. That's cool. But you think when somebody's mama called me, you think I'm sending them to go read some books? Is that what you think I'm doing? Huh? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I do refer them to things because I want people to be responsible for their health, and I do understand the importance of you having a what's the word? The reasoning. I want you to have that aspect, the logical aspect of what we are doing. I want it to make sense to you. I want you to understand the fundamentals of how the body works. But you ain't got to be no scientist. That's what this was about. It was about showing you that you don't have to be no doctor. You ain't got to be no scientist. You ain't got to be no researcher. You can be that if you want to, but that's not required. You need to understand two fundamental things to reverse chronic illness in the body. You need to be able to maximize hydration and elimination. That's it. That's it. Maximize hydration and elimination. Because what the hydration does is that breaks up the congestion. You have a lack of flow. That's the issue right now. And if you want to list a particular, whoever left this comment, something in particular that you're dealing with, we can break down what that is and what's actually happening. But hydrating the body clears out congestion, clears out. People took Dr. Sebi's work and really, I'm gonna tell you, if humans don't do nothing else, they will learn how to shit on somebody else's work. they will sit back and do nothing but critique and shit on somebody else's work. And people misconstrue his message behind mucus. Mucus in and of itself is not the problem. You have mucous membranes. It is there for a reason. It's for a purpose, just like you have it in your nostrils, you have it in your nose, right? It acts as like a filter, trapping waste and debris. The point he was making to you is mucus in excess. It clogs and congests the body. And when you have a cell that swims in fluid, and you got crud around it, it's swimming in its own waste because it can't properly move and eliminate waste out, you got a problem. You got a problem. So you have a perfect cell that should be able to function. And now, because it's sitting in its own shit, that's what's happening. It starts to malfunction. It also can become abnormal. This is what when y'all start to fighting cancer, you're not even getting to the thick of it. You're not even getting to the basics. You on the internet talking about F cancer. Why? What did cancer do? Oh, you trying to be funny now. You trying to be ignorant. You know, people that lost their life. Yeah, how did they lose their life? Did cancer kill them? What kind of treatment were they given? What kind of fear did you give them once you told them that? What did you tell them after you gave them that title, that name, cancer? What did you tell them? You gave them a success rate, didn't you? Didn't you? That's what you did. You gave them a percentage. You put death on their mind. You put death in their spirit. That's what you did. You didn't give them no good outlook. You said, now you got this. You entered them into the world of fear. And then you took their vessel and poisoned it. And now I'm supposed to be mad at cancer. You had a cell that was sitting in its own waste. And even if it became abnormal, because everybody got cancer cells in their body, I'm sorry to hurt y'all feelings, but the body in all of her wisdom is able to do multiple things. It can repair that abnormal cell, or it could neutralize it, break it down, and it can eliminate it. When it can't do what it is naturally capable and able to do, that's when you have a problem. So the hydration is to clear the congestion. We need proper flow in the body. You have to have proper blood flow. You have to have proper lymphatic flow. You have to have proper nerve flow. When you don't, you're going to have a problem. And you're going to see that problem exhibited by way of symptoms. Okay. Hydration and elimination. That's why we go to the fruits and vegetables, people. That's why we go raw. Pause. Raw is best, ain't it? Yeah. So why? Hydration, enzymes, the water. That's why. Because it don't matter how many things you take. Guess what I was doing at my worst? I was taking 15 supplements, all sorts of supplements, vitamin D, vitamin C. I don't even remember all the crap that I was taking. Probably magnesium was in there. Probably B12. That's what's interesting. The argument with B12. When B12 is produced by bacteria in the gut. I needed B12 when I was eating meat, not when I wasn't. Fascinating. Quite fascinating. So that's the key. And it doesn't matter what the chronic illness is. Chronic just means it lingers. That's the only thing. It's been lingering. You've been dealing with this. Yeah, I'd be having to check this mic because it be showing me, okay, like it's going out. Chronic illness just means it's lingering. It's a lingering condition, something you've been dealing with for an extended period of time. It's not acute. It's not, just the onset of it and then it passes. You have to hydrate the body and you have to support it so that it is properly eliminating. Else, things get congested, things slow down. You get sludge. That's what I had going on. I didn't know at that time. Bowel sludge. Then you have stones start to form, gallstones, kidney stones. Why? Things are not moving. Things are lingering. Things are not being eliminated like they should. We got a real kidney issue going on. A real, I don't even think people understand that you got a problem. People think the other issues are causing the kidney problems. Like it's the diabetes that's causing the kidney problems. It's the this that's causing. No, the kidneys got to go down first. The kidneys have to stop filtering the waste properly first, which creates congestion and a backup of waste in the body. And that's when you start seeing the development of all these other illnesses and all these other so-called diseases. The kidney has to be filtering. It has to filter the waste. So we'll do this a part one. Let's make this part one of this discussion. Part one. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, I will go back and mention that young lady's, I think it's a young lady's comment. Because she said she was dealing with a chronic illness for the past decade. You already imagine yourself without medication and machines. But yes, that's absolutely what I'd be doing. I would absolutely be doing that. I would absolutely be envisioning myself when I was laid on that couch. The thing about illness, especially when you feel like you're about to die, one, nobody understands it. Nobody really gets like, okay, I'm really serious. This is bad. Especially when you've always had it together. Like you're not a person who typically gets sick. It's like, bruh, how long? You still got problems? You still your stomach still ain't right. What's going on? You really have to create this oasis within you. You have to create this ideal, this paradise within you. You have to see yourself there. And sometimes I want to see how I want to phrase this. sometimes it seems to be difficult to do, because when you're in pain, that's what you feel. You feel the pain. When you're in pain, you feel the pain. When you're in despair, you feel the despair. That's the tendency. And the key here is you have to put your attention on something else. It don't matter how difficult you tell me things are. I know it can be done because I've done it. And even if you have to treat yourself on a daily basis, you affirm to yourself in mind that I'm healthy in every way. I'm healthy in every way. My body is better than it's ever been. Well, Rook, that's a lie. Says who? Says who to who? You don't get to dictate my inner reality. You don't know what I'm seeing and experiencing here. You're telling me that I'm supposed, like, I get so confused with people's love for science. I thought you said you wanted science. I thought science said to you that matter is 99.9999999% empty space. Then that means we're more not here than we're here. So when you tell me that what I see is the dominant, the prominent, I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. I would go. This is when you use meditation. You listen to things. You saturate your mind. You saturate your mind with what you want. I'd look for every example. I know some people say, well, you shouldn't have to look for an example. And I've even said it. Just know within yourself. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And if I feel like that I have saturated my mind for years with the pitiful version of me, the version of me that's sick, I'm looking. I just, oh, taste and see. I want to just see. Just give me a sign. I can ask myself for a sign if I want to, and I want to see. I want to see that. I just want to see. I would listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza has a phenomenal playlist of transformation. You don't even have to go about it his way. His way it's deep into meditation. The people are incorporating an active practice of intentional, I guess we could call it mind work. The evidence is there. See, I know people don't want what they say they want because the evidence is there. He got people who've reversed cancer. He got people up there who've reversed paralysis, who've reversed Parkinson's, who've reversed. I just look at it. It's like my favorite pastime. I just feel like, so wonderful. Isn't that beautiful? Reverse infertility, everything that you can imagine, because they started to see themselves. This is what I am. This is who I am. I am the being. It's the I am within me. I am that I am. I can't be stuck. When I was at my worst, I knew there was an answer. I didn't know what the answer was. I didn't know how to help myself, but I knew I could help myself. I didn't know how to help myself, but I knew I could help myself. Message. You have to see yourself. I think the problem that people are having is you think your physical self is the only you. That's all you identify with. And there is a spiritual man. And it is about you getting in tune with that spiritual man. And you ain't got to work to get in tune with it. You just recognize it. You just recognize it. Put your attention. Sometimes you just got to sit and just look and just whisper to yourself that I am health. I am love. I am all that is. Being healthy is easy. It's all easy. I came to this planet knowing what to do. I could never lack anything. You got to contemplate on these things. Put it in your spirit. Let it marinate. Let it stir it up a little bit. Part 2, we can talk about more practical ways. What that really looked like. What my time detoxing my body really looked like. I cycled through cleanses, a lot of parasite cleanses, full body cleanses, liver cleanses, kidney cleanses, blood cleanses. The skin issues right there, that's a blood issue. Anytime you got a blood issue, you got a liver issue. Real simple. Real simple. Body pushing waste through the skin. That's all that's happening. Only thing that you have to not do is tell yourself that you're stuck. Tell yourself that it can't be done. Again, to ask this question, you already know. You already know what's up. You already know what's up. Whatever you're dealing with, it doesn't matter. I was working with a gentleman who had been dealing with Lyme's disease, so called, for over 10 years. Ended up getting some antibiotics that almost killed him. It kept giving it to him, kept giving him different types, and then they upped the ante. Y'all better do some research on these antibiotics. Many of them have black box warnings, meaning that's the highest level. The highest level, the FDA will put on a warning that this drug has a high probability of causing death, serious injury or death. And he done that, right? And I can't remember how he came across me, but I think he was one of the good folks over Hotep Nation, I believe. And when we started working, I just broke it down to him how simple it was. I said, we got to get your kidneys to filtering. This should dismantle. Y'all like that word, don't you? Dismantle. We dismantling the system. Can't dismantle those piss poor eating habits, though. Can't dismantle that piss poor thinking, those piss poor mental patterns. Don't never want to dismantle that. Another discussion for another day. But I told him, I was like, it should be evident to you that trying to kill the bacteria ain't the issue. It's not the answer. They've been trying to kill off bacteria for you for a decade, and you still dealing with the same problem. See, when you war with yourself, with your body, because that's what you do when you war with bacteria. Those are your homies. They live there for a reason. They're inside there for a reason. So when you go to battle with them, they go to battle with your ass. And the good thing about it is, where modern medicine will say the bacteria becomes antibiotic resistant, it's intelligent in that way. It's showing you that I'm supposed to be here, and even in your ignorance to try to kill me, I'm going to show up again and again to help your stupid behind. I was like, it should be evident to you that you have been on antibiotics, some of the strongest, for the past 10 years, and you're still dealing with this issue. Yet, he was dealing with really painful kidney stones. You already know how the story goes. That's all we did. Diet, detoxification. We focused on hydrating his body, maximizing hydration, and maximizing elimination. He had a waste backup problem. That was it. Every illness, y'all can just rest assured. Everybody be calm. Everybody relax. It's all settled. It's it. That's it. It's the only thing. There's nothing else to talk about. Toxemia, toxic overload. Open up the eliminative channels in the body. Waste is released. Hydrate the body. Get congestion out. Get things moving so that the good nutrition that you do bring in can actually be absorbed. You get that in and out game back flowing, and the body repairs itself. And that's what happened. We broke those stones up. He passed them. You know, one of the benefits that he had, that he noticed? Well, he said his girlfriend noticed that he actually smelled better. Fellas, some of y'all stink. We're gonna save that for a whole nother episode. Y'all always talking about somebody going and licking some balls. The balls stink. Yeah, they do. They so what I'm told. I'm just saying. Y'all think women are evil, but if women really started telling y'all like what was up, they really told y'all 100%. Some of y'all would be ready to jump off a cliff. But you stink, you smell, because your body is congested. You don't smell pleasant. You don't. And as he cleaned up his body, this was what his girl said to him. Just randomly, like, wow, you smell so good. Like you smell so much better. I don't think she was, well, I don't know. Like I'm assuming she wasn't saying that he was like stinky, stinky, but your pores smell like everything that seeps from you, your underarms, your breath, your gas, your bowel movements, all of the things, right? Your scalp. You ever had a scalp that just stink all the time? Why you think that is? Just congested. So yeah, I need to check on him. By the way, I'm glad I thought about him. I need to see how he is. But we resolved the issues. He resolved the issues. One, because he never backed up off of it. He had to move beyond. I encouraged him to put his attention on what it is that it is done. I need you to know that it's done. And he was in severe pain. Like really, it got debilitating. Um, all of it. The dealing with the limes, dealing with, and the main thing that was an issue for him was the pain from the kidneys, the pain from the kidney stones. Resolved all of it. Heavy on the fruit. Shout out to the fruit. Electrolytes, antioxidants. Yeah. Phytonutrients. Yeah. Uh-huh. All the good things. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Ain't that what they say? The berries, the power of the berries to restore nerve function. I mean, it's simple. So I don't know that I fully dived into, but I think we got a good starting point. But that's how Project Rook came about. Project Rook came about. I wanted to show people how simple it was to transform their health just by changing their diet and by detoxing the body. I also wanted to show people how the key to transforming their life was changing their diet. I wanted to show people how that's what opened the door to me transforming every aspect of my life. That's what loosened the chains of the world, because it wasn't just about changing the eating diet. Because diet means way of life, by the way, way of living. It put my focus back on me in a way that I hadn't done it. And that sometimes is what the whole point of the so-called illness is. It's you calling you back to self. And it's the only way that your soul can get you to put your attention on you, to stop tussling with the world and with your family and what somebody did to you, is calling you back to self. It's saying turn inward. And if your health ever go down, whoever wrote this, you already know this is true. If your health ever go down, nothing else in the world matters. I don't give a damn who say what. Your favorite influencer, I don't care if they announce what. It could be another damn so-called pandemic. It don't matter. When your health go down, everything stops. Nothing matters except you and how you feel. And I'm saying to you, the gateway for me, what changed everything, was changing my diet. We're about to start our fall reset in the inner circle. Project Rook Inner Circle on the 22nd of September. Last year, I think we did 100 days of cleansing, resetting. This year, we entered into, we went with the seasons. So we did spring reset. We did we did a 21-day all fruit. We've done a 21-day all raw food, nothing cooked. And now we're about to go into the fall equinox, and we're going to do 31 days, and that's just plant-based. It can be cooked with just no processed foods, no meats, no dairy, no soy, no wheat, no alcohol, no drugs for 31 days. When have you ever taken 31 days and just put your attention on yourself? Love on you a little bit. Is it too much? Is it too much to, as again, you watch the people around you who say it's too much, but it ain't never too much for them to carry their ass to the doctor every month. That don't never be too much. You having it to take injections, that ain't never too much. I say get you a smoothie and get you a salad and I mean a salad. The water, popping them pills ain't never too much. That's never asking too much of you. Talk to me now. Come on. Taking care of yourself, you shouldn't need convincing. You don't need me to be a rah-rah. You don't need a hype man for that. What do you want your life to be? But yes, anybody who's experiencing any sort of chronic illness, there is a way. There's always a way. This is why I focus so much on the mind. This is why I focus so much on the mind. Because you need to know that if you can just catch a glimpse of that, just a glimpse, you ain't got to catch all of it, just a little salt, just a little sprinkle. Did you get just a little sprinkle that I will, it is done. I will not live stuck. I will not live broke. I will not live sick. I have watched everybody around me, everybody in my family sick, damn near. They all popping something, damn near. Just fat as hell, damn near. That's their choice. I'm not speaking on like I don't have no whatever. It's whatever you whatever. Whatever works. Just not me though. Don't ask me for, you know how you go to the doctor and they be like, well, give me the account of your family history. Why? My family history ain't got nothing to do with me. Where I'm going and where they going is obviously two different places. What they selling for, what I'm selling for, two different things. Huh? What's acceptable to them and what's acceptable to me, two different things. There is another way. That's what this is about. That's the project of Root, baby. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.